Hello, everybody. It's me, Carmine DeStefano, your bookman, and I finished the Street Fighter 6 first. There are three storylines, and I finished the first one, and I didn't really finish it because the last battle was more than enough. Now, I can say with full confidence, because I've been playing this game for a few weeks, I know this is about 2.5 years too late, but when it comes to the Switch 2 version, it looks amazing on my TV. I'm not sure what people are talking about. I know there's been a lot of controversy because the internet, especially YouTube, has gone from just wokeness to wokeness and Nintendo's evil. That's the big craze that's happening on these airwaves and whatever. But from what I can tell on my screen, and I have a 55-inch 4K television, it looks pretty damn good. I don't see any difference between what I was playing on the Switch 2 when it's docked and what I was seeing in full 4K HD and everything on PlayStation 5, PC, whatever was being released when I watched this ridiculously long, asinine story mode version of the game. Now, when it comes to the game itself, in terms of the original story mode, where I'm posting all the endings on my gaming channel and everything like that as shorts, when it comes to the online play, although a lot of you are cheesy motherfuckers, ultimately the game itself plays well. It's very responsive. As an old curmudgeon who's been around since Street Fighter 2, where a combo was you can hit somebody twice with one Ryu kick, seeing how easy it is to play, I'm not even talking about the new controls. The new controls are a joke. But seeing how easy it is to play with the original controls, and I'm using my Joy-Cons together, okay? And just that you know, I love my Joy-Cons, they're great, but this is where I'm going to have to go on not really a rampage or even a rant, just a bit of a complaint about this Nintendo is corrupt thing that's going on right now. First off, kids, corporations are all corrupt. This is just life. As you get older, you become an old fart like me, you'll know that corporations are not out for the consumer, they're out for the shareholders. That's the whole point. And they hide things behind the concept that they're all for you, but they're just trying to shill money. So making it seem as though Nintendo is explicitly the only one doing it, no, you're 100% wrong. In fact, you're so wrong, it's almost laughable, and that's why I don't take any of this shit seriously. At this point, I laugh at all these videos that get suggested. Not my videos. You know, my small channel of 700 subscribers and 716 subscribers here, after 15 plus years of doing this shit, trying to help people. No. You're never going to know that I posted a video. It's not going to happen. But the nerds that complain about woke this and Nintendo that and everything, yeah, they keep showing up on my channels. Channels, plural, by the way. But when it comes to this video specifically, I want you to understand it. I love Capcom. I really do. They will make a decent game. And Street Fighter 6 as a whole is a good game. Don't get me wrong. It's polished. It's well put together and everything like that. The story mode, as I said, the big problem, we're going to get to that in just a minute. I need to get this off my chest at this point. Capcom is one of my favorite companies. They were great since I was a kid. They made a lot of tremendous series and titles. Always found quality in a game that had their logo on it, whatever. No problem with Capcom except for this. So you have Street Fighter 6. You have the original version. It's incomplete. They want to give you some more stuff. And they have in-game currency. How do you get in-game currency? Well, I'm not sure if even grinding thousands of hours is going to make a difference, but typically you have to pay for it. So you pay $60 for a game. They release new characters. They require fight money, which you can only get through paying for it. The only way I see that you can get this fight money for just skins and shit is I have to go to the eShop, which means I have to pay for it. So, you pay for the new characters like E Honda or Blanca, whatever was released after the initial launch of the game, and you buy the new skins because, hey, I want to see Juri in just a brassiere and a little hoodie pajama thing. I want to see Chun-Li in her original outfit and all that other stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Like Street Fighter 5. I love seeing Chun-Li in business attire with the skirt and all that. Incredibly hot. You know, the whole spiel. So you paid for that, and then Capcom, 2 years later, re-releases the game with all the characters on a new console and a couple of new modes that I haven't tried yet. And now with those releases, they want to release even more characters. They just announced Sagat, Crimson Viper, whatever. And I'm going to have to pay for those if I want them. Most likely I will. But now if you bought the base game, you just paid $60 for that. You paid about $30 for the other characters, and there is no season pass of like 20 or 25 or even 15, so you can get every character that comes out. So more or less, it's free to play with microtransactions when you paid $60. And other companies do this shit all the time. None of you make a million videos about that. This is a farce. Okay, that is bullshit. That I can pay $60 for a game that other people had to pay $85, $90 for. And Capcom, like I said, does this all the time. Every company, they give you $15 DLC, and then 2 years later, hey, we re-released it on another console with all the DLC. It's like, it's insane. And then they want to add to that for more money. But Nintendo's evil because Mario Kart's $80. All right, then don't get Mario Kart. There you go. Solved your problem. It doesn't mean the Switch 2 is bad. It doesn't mean that it has a bad screen, whatever the fuck that means. It's just that other companies are going to make you buy this shit after the fact, and it'll cost you more than $80 for a game that's got virtually everything. And if you just bought it in the bundle, you only paid $50 for Mario Kart. So, see what I'm saying? It's amazing how this stuff gets mentioned, but it doesn't get harped on or obsessed over. Not to add, but like I said, I'm using this, right? And I want to get my Pro-Con soon, don't get me wrong. But Capcom clearly makes it that if you buy that coin-operated joystick with the 6-button platform thing for like $250, and trust me, I looked this up years ago, it was like $200. You can easily get every combo, every trial done. You can blow through the game, no problem. So they want you to pay over $300 to play one game, and nobody has a problem with this. Now, yeah, I can play it with my Joy-Cons, and as you can see, I can also take 15 hours to build up my character, and that's where I get back to this particular game. 15 hours to build up my character, buy clothes, all this other stuff, so that I can have a hard time facing some numbnut who wants to be Dazzle in a tournament that this is the third tournament after 1 million battles. Don't forget, every time you get attacked, every time you walk around the street, I took on as many fights as I could to get to level 50 very gradually, slowly, and agonizingly, and it still was nothing. You think this fight was bad? There was a fight previously when I was fighting E. Honda's student. There was the first fight in this third tournament where I was fighting Zangief's student. All of them fucking horseshit. You can't buy enough healing items. You can't get enough healing items. So even that advantage is taken away. They hit you once, it's you hitting them 10 times. It's a fucking joke. And I just had enough. I got so fed up with it, I stopped playing it before I finished it because JP, Johan Petrovich, one of the new characters, who I think is the leader of New Shadowloo, he whooped my ass. I couldn't do jack to him. His defense was impenetrable. And every time he hit me, it was like about 1/6 of my health. It was ridiculous. And if I was able to make any contact with him, 200 hit points, and he had 20,000 plus hit points. No, sorry. See, this is a problem with so-called AAA games and their so-called challenge. It's cheating. You can tell me to geed, but the problem is when it takes 10 of your attacks to land for them to kill you in 5 attacks, that's a problem. That is a Dark Souls From Software issue. They don't have to worry about stamina. They don't have to worry about this, that, and the other thing. They can do a basic kick or punch that blows through any of your abilities. It absorbs everything. They can do half your health and output with one throw or whatever, and you have to just bash them and bash them and bash them to death for 20 minutes. These fights were taking 4.5, 5 minutes each. Just so I can barely get by. It was a fucking disaster. And this is called cheating. It's giving the computer way too much of an advantage, and I'm tired of it. When it comes to these so-called AAA games, I'm tired of it. You get stuck because of the fact, that the computer is just too jacked up. Whether it's you're getting completely and utterly overwhelmed by too many enemies, or your bosses or whatever, after you've grinded for hours, intentionally or unintentionally, are still way too strong. It's shit like this that drive me nuts. Now, does this deviate or does this completely detract from the rest of the experience? Absolutely not. You don't even have to play these story modes. I just decided to do it for the sake of my gaming channel. You could ignore them completely. But for the most part, when it comes to stuff like this is one of the major development flaws of so-called AAA companies. They do this shit all the time, and I have had enough. This is one of the reasons why I try to avoid certain titles, because I don't need to lose my voice. I don't need to cough when I'm giving you an assessment of a game. I don't need to punch shit and get ridiculously over the top angered because I'm just so irritated by the stupidity. It's enough. And it's this game, and it's Civilization 7, where you're just trying to build up your civilization and catch up to the yields, and next thing you know, 3 civilization leaders want to attack you at the same time with their overwhelming, unstoppable, unceaseless army. It's just ridiculous. I've had enough of that shit. Now, does that stop me from playing these games? No. And I will play Street Fighter 6. I'm probably going to stream on Wednesday nights these story modes just to see what they're all about and everything. Still enjoy the game. I mean, it's still Street Fighter. I love Street Fighter. It's my favorite fighting game out of all of them, especially after Mortal Kombat's last entry. That was, oh my God, that was pretty bad. But I just had to say what I wanted to say. Will I make more videos about that and this whole anti-Nintendo bullshit? Maybe, I don't know. I'll figure it out. There are other things I'd like to complain about or try to enlighten people on based on experience and study and stuff like that. But when it comes to this particular game, would I suggest it? Yeah, you're a fighter fan? Go ahead. Would I suggest playing this version of it? I mean, look, it's got its appeal. You can meet people. You can become, what do you call it? You can become their apprentices and everything like that. You can learn their movesets. It's a nice way to practice. It does help you be a little better at the game. The online stuff is good. Just be careful. A lot of guys want to keep throwing you or do the same moves over and over again. If you see someone using the modern controls, be careful, because all they have to do is press 2 buttons. It's ridiculous. But the overall experience is perfectly fine. I just think that Capcom's nefarious practices and their corporate bullshit and this story mode, I'm done with that, man. I'm done with this so-called challenge. It's trash. I thank you all for watching. I have more for you soon to come. So stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.